Akeem, bro. I appreciate you tapping in with me on the Man Cave. You know, it's all about the power in our minds that only we can feel and understand. And it's very important for brothers who look like me and you, who are doing something positive in the communities and willing to give back and share that knowledge, man. And I definitely appreciate you shouting me out and reaching out to me and tapping in and saying that you want to get on my platform, bro, because this is what it's all about. And when I say each one teach one, like I really mean that. The only way for us to become better as a whole is for us to share that knowledge. You know what I mean? Each one teach one. If you know something I don't know, I know something that you don't know, then we both will become better. But, you know, before I get into all that, you know, let the people know who watching the show, man, who want to tap into this, who you are, what you do, where you from.
Listen. My name is Akeem Woods. I'm a graduate from AIC where we met.
Yes,
I graduated 2010, the fall of 2010, and that's where we met because we had a course together. It was just a filler to complete the degree, but I have a degree in sociology. I'm currently not using it. I don't think I'm going to use it, but that's okay. I'm from Long Island. I went to Freeport on Long Island, and now I'm still residing on Long Island.
And so you back home?
I'm back home. So you know that's pretty much it for the most part for me.
Yeah. So pretty much what you doing right now? What's your profession?
So I'm in a few different things. I'm in two different things that I really focus on. But we're here to really talk about the finances. I also have a few pieces of real estate, but I'm really here to kind of educate and share knowledge of what I've acquired so far with finances. And
so you in the real estate field?
No, I'm not in the field. I'm not licensed.
Okay.
I own a few pieces of property.
That's dope.
I have one here, and I have a few in Detroit.
Yeah.
But, you know, that's a whole nother ball game. Before, you know.
That's big though. That's big. You know, and that's what I'm trying to tap into now myself. Man, I'm trying to get into that real estate game because, you know, it's just like Monopoly. Like growing up, I love playing Monopoly, but one thing I always learned from Monopoly is that the more you invest your money in different land, the more people land on your property, the more money you make.
Absolutely. Monopoly ends friendships. You know what I'm saying? Monopoly, it starts off cool, but it can end friendships when somebody lands on your property. And that's the name of the game. You gotta, you know, own. You gotta own, you know, you gotta just build up your wealth through ownership and holding. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. You know, and you know, a lot of us talk about wealth, generational wealth, you know what I mean, financial literacy, but I feel like we got to dumb it down in a sense. Well, not dumb it down, but bring it down to a basic level so that people can understand exactly what we mean. How can we get there? Because, you know, for the last couple of years, of course, I always wanted generational wealth, but you can't create generational wealth unless you have wealth yourself.
Absolutely.
You cannot create generational wealth unless you have a means to invest, unless you have some type of platform and stability yourself. So how can someone get to that point? You know what I mean? What's most important for a person to be able to invest? They have to have that type of revenue. Like me, I had to work 2-3 jobs to stack my bread to get to the point where I'm at now, where I could afford to have an LLC, where I could afford to invest in my own merchandise, where I could afford to invest in my certifications to start my personal training business. So I had to understand that. And over the course of the years, I became a better man. I became more versatile through my revenue. But I was never ashamed to go work 2-3 jobs because I always understood that those sacrifices would get me where I'm at now. So, you know, let's talk about the real estate game real quick. How did you get into it?
I got into the real estate game through my mom, God rest her soul. She copped the property. And then from there, it was like me and her kind of maintaining it. And then from there, it's like, you know, she always had a vision of wanting to buy this property and hold it, or not really flip, because flipping wasn't as popular at the time, but she always wanted to buy and hold something, and she was always looking. So, you know, that was my major influence to get into the real estate game.
Right. That's dope. So it all started with you and your mom. So that's generational wealth right there, because it's in the bloodline.
That's generational wealth, and you know she had to get it from the bottom, just like you talked about. She had to work, you know, multiple jobs, and the piece of property that she did purchase wasn't where she wanted it to be initially. But at the end of the day, she ended up being a homeowner, and you know, that's the most important part. Like, you know, she owns the home and she has value, which
Exactly.
real estate always goes up in value. You know,
Correct.
it's very, very hard for something to depreciate when it comes to real estate. I mean, you know, the city of Detroit was kind of depleted and so forth, but if you look at it now, it's definitely going back up. You know,
Right.
because there's different people invested into the city. But outside of the city of Detroit, there's not a bad place in, you know, United States really where you can't buy a piece of property and it not go up in value. So value is always going up when it comes to real estate. That's something that does not depreciate.
That's dope. And was your mom born in the U.S. as well?
Yeah, we American, man. We straight, you know, she's straight from Mississippi. Uh,
Okay.
born and raised in Jackson, Mississippi, and then, you know, she moved up here to Long Island when she was a young
Dope.
girl. And then she bumped into my pops here
Yeah.
in Suffolk
That's
County.
what's up. That's what's up, man. And rest her soul, like you said, man. I'm sorry to hear that she passed away, but it's a beautiful thing that she prepared you that platform and helped you out with that, man. And that's very important. I really think that our parents need to lead the way on this, you know, and it's up to us who have the knowledge to be those parents in the future where we could pass that down to our kids because we're learning that, you know. And first, before we even get so deep into the story, man, like, let's talk about AIC. Let's talk about our college education real quick, you know, and let's be honest, because there's a big debate between entrepreneurship and college education.
Got you.
People state that you don't need a college education to be successful, right?
Mm-hmm.
They say that you don't need to go to college to be a millionaire and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I agree to a certain extent.
Okay.
But then again, why do millionaires send their children to college?
I personally believe, you know, they send, and you know, I'm kind of bumping into them now because, you know, that's the law of attraction, the crowd I try to be around, you know, people who are kind of doing better than myself.
Right.
But I wonder too when I hear that, but they do that for I think sometimes it's for the experience and to have some type of knowledge, some type of textbook knowledge, right? And I think about, like, where would you be if you didn't go to college, right? You may not be as mature as where you are today. We may not be here on this podcast. You may not be the motivational person you are today. I know. And then there's relationships in college that you create over time. Like, you know, you and I, we never really spoke or had a convo. We never had a challenge with one another. We was just in the same class.
Right.
But seeing you grow over the years, seeing myself mature and grow over the years, now we have a relationship. So it's people that you come in contact with in college that help level you up, that you know, be around forever. And it's just a big maturity point in your life. Like, how many people started when you were a freshman and didn't finish when you were a senior?
Right.
A lot, right? And you're probably in different places than those who didn't finish.
Correct.
So, you know, from a maturity standpoint, it's needed, right? Because we're going to be adults for a very long time, and you're only a young adult or a teenager for a short period of time. So why not enjoy that and go to college?
Correct.
I think when it comes to going to college or just kind of jumping into a career field,
yeah,
I think it's all about the relationships you build along the way. I'm really big on relationship building with people for the simple fact that I believe relationships equal wealth. I posted that in my story. I don't post in my story that much on IG. You know, relationships equal wealth because somebody will give you some knowledge that you don't know and some knowledge that you won't get in a textbook.
Right.
And, you know, it's just knowledge not from a textbook. But then, you know, college, some things we need, right? I guess I don't know. Some things you need. I think it's maturity standpoint, not necessarily the textbook information, because some of that information is
it's 50-50.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a networking, it's a relationship builder. You know, I'm big on being book and street smart because I had the opportunity to overcome a lot of things in the streets and have firsthand experiences to the point where I was able to navigate through college and alter my mind state and who I was at the time.
Right.
Throughout my years of college, my first 2 years of college, I should say, was rough.
Mm-hmm.
Because I came to college with this hood mentality, this street mentality, and I was trying to adapt, and I was kind of the oddball. I ain't fit in because I was too street, I was too rugged, I was too gangster with it.
Yeah.
And when I started to learn about college, it was like you said, it was all about the relationships that you build and networking. It taught me how to become comfortable in an uncomfortable environment, if that makes sense.
It does, yeah.
It taught me how to build relationships with people who I never thought I would speak to. Like people outside my race. You get what I'm saying? Understanding them, digging deep into their mind state, their lifestyle. Now, I remember I met this kid, Maroon Hanoush. I don't know if you know Hanoush, but Hanoush Jewelers is all around Massachusetts. It's a major jewelry store. He went to AIC as well.
Wow.
His father owns the jewelry store around Massachusetts, from Springfield, Holyoke to Boston. Now, this kid, Maroon, white kid, one day we in class, I got my chains on, my earrings, sweatpants hanging off my ass. I'm a football athlete. And I come in class one day and he like, yo, your jewelry fake. I'm like, yo, who the hell is this kid? White kid, I'm about to beat him up, talking on my shit fake. Like, I don't even know this dude, you know what I mean? And he like, nah, bro, like my father's a jeweler. Like we own jewelry stores, like that's what we do. And then from there, our relationship expanded to the point where he came to Brooklyn and seen me at my own crib.
Okay.
I'm talking about a millionaire, a kid who's well off, but wanted to tap into my environment and get to know me on a personal standpoint, from a personal note. You get what I'm saying? And that network and that connection that I built with him from that one experience just showed me that college was so much more than the books.
Yeah.
It was the interactions and the relationships I was building with people around me. That's one day in the future, like you said, me and you barely even spoke in college. Yeah. But look at the relationship that we building now. Look what we could do with the relationship that we formed throughout college. You get what I'm saying? And I feel like that's why college is important. It's just what you do with it.
Yeah. Yep. Just like with everything. It's just what you do with it. You know, people have good experiences about their college, great, you know, good, bad, whatever, indifferent. But it's about what did you do with it, right? I have some, you know, of course, you know, I'm a Sigma, so
yes.
Shout out to the Game Alpha Xi chapter. But you know, I met some guys, frat, not frat, that are here for life. And it's just I just took it and just ran with it and made the best I could. I mean, that was like AIC was my third stop because I went to 2 JUCOs first. And then when I got
what 2 JUCOs you went to?
I went to Morrisville first,
okay,
right by Syracuse, and then I stopped at Alfred State as well. Had to get the academics right, man. Well, more so the test scores because I wasn't a great test taker. And then
understood.
I got the AIC. Shout out to Big Artie too, man. He took all of my credits. And I was like, yo, I'm with it.
They take everybody, boy. Back door, front door, they don't care. They take everybody, boy. They gonna get you in.
I'm forever indebted to the football program because he took all of my credits, man. Instead of having me coming in and having to do another 12 credits that I lost, he took everything, man. I mean, look, I ain't had an athletic career that I wanted, but listen, it worked out personally because, like, there's some great dudes that I met from 2008, females as well, from 2008 to 2010 that, like I said, that are here for life. So, so college is what you make it, bro, just like everything else.
Correct. You know, speaking of the fraternity life, like, when I first went to AIC, I thought about joining it, you know what I mean? And sometimes I don't beat myself up about it, but I'm like, damn, I should have been a Q. If anything, I wanted to be a Q dog. I ain't gonna lie, man.
Nah. Listen, by the time you really got ingrained, right? I was gone because that I think your first semester was my last.
Yeah.
But, you know, over time we probably would have got cool and probably would like, listen, bro, that's not it. That ain't Shout out to them too. Shout out to Oxen, man. Shout out to Ox, all the rest of them Qs, man. There was some good dudes. All the black orgs on campus was great people.
Yeah, you know, but that's the most important thing about it. You see, I was ignorant to the facts when I was at AIC in terms of the fraternity lifestyle in general. You know, I really thought y'all was doing it for the females. I really thought y'all was doing it for the clout.
Yeah.
I came from Brooklyn, New York, where I was a popular kid in high school. I had the females, I had the clout. I didn't want none of that.
You need it.
I was trying to figure out how we gonna get to the bag. So when I went to the meetings and y'all wasn't talking about no money, y'all wasn't talking about how we gonna get to the bag, I was confused. You feel what I'm saying? I was like, yo, we ain't talk about getting no money, but I gotta spend money and y'all gonna beat me up. I'm not with it. Like, you get what I'm saying? It was confusing to me. But at that point in time, my outlook on the whole fraternity thing was wrong, I should say, because I understand now in the future how those connections could help you out. How your brother from a whole nother state could be an executive over here, or he could be a major investor or millionaire. You get what I'm saying? Who could open those doors? And like you said, it's all about relationships. It's all about networking.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know, coming from Long Island, I didn't really see like I heard of Greek Fest, right? Growing up at
Yeah,
Palm Beach, but I didn't know nobody who was in a Greek. You know what I'm saying? So getting there, I kind of going into college, I kind of had the same mindset. But then
yeah.
mom once again dropped the gem on me, like, listen, you know, I recommend you join a frat. You know what I'm saying? It you know, can help
Wow.
you level up and
Was
so
your mom a part of the sorority?
she was a Sigma Dove. She went to Central
Wow.
State in Ohio. So
Yeah,
she was a Dove and she recommended that, and I was like, all right, cool. I guess so. And then
yeah.
you know, that was pretty much the end of it. From there, just finding the right fit for myself. So,
That's dope.
you know, did that.
That's dope. So I mean, the AIC experience was different, man. And from your 2 years of being there, well, what did you learn that you took from that you apply to everyday life now?
What did I take from AIC the 2.5 I was there that I apply to everyday life? Um, you know what? I feel like let's talk athletics, right? So when I got there, it was like, yo, we need D tackles. I was like, fine, whatever. I'll play whatever. You taking all 60 of my credits, I'll play whatever.
Right.
And that year we won it. That was '08. That year we won it. And so there was so much technique in development that I didn't have.
Right.
Right? You could probably attest to this coming from Sheepshead, correct?
Yes.
So coming from Sheepshead, you was probably just out there using their athleticism, no technique, just making
Correct.
plays. So I think you threw the shirt on your first year, correct?
See, I went to Kansas. I went to
Okay.
Garden City, Kansas. I was at a Garden City Community College. I don't know if
Yeah.
you've seen that show, Last Chance U.
I heard of it. I know Garden City's a powerhouse D1.
Yeah, so I went out
Yeah.
there to the Jayhawk conference. That was like a D1 JUCO. I redshirted out there. Then
Yeah.
I was supposed to start my second year, and I got redshirted again because they drafted some kid from Mississippi and started him over me automatically after I already earned the starting spot. So I left, like you said. AIC take everybody, get people there, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks into the school year. They said, yo, don't worry, we gonna get you in, and they got your boy in. But I'm gonna be honest with you, like you said,
Yeah.
when I first went out there, I was balling off a straight skill,
Yeah.
just natural born talent.
Yeah.
They taught me technique. The type of technique that they taught me, I came to AIC looking like one of them freakish athletes.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? But over the time, I'm not gonna lie, my game kind of stayed stagnant or demise because AIC was great at putting great players together, but they wasn't big on helping us with technique, really.
Okay.
You know what I mean? During my years, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know about your years, but for my years, I felt like they
Well,
didn't really drill into that.
we had a phenomenal D-line coach who was gone by the time you got there.
Who? Which one y'all had?
That was Coach Cook.
Coach
And
Cook. Oh, I
yeah,
don't even know Coach Cook. I know D-Rod and Raph and them.
yeah, so like D-Rod, I think D-Rod and I pulled up at the same time.
Yeah, y'all was playing together around that time, right?
Yeah, we was on the roster together, but I think when we got there, that was Coach Cook's last year.
Yeah.
Just so much technique, right? And I didn't know, so I was standing straight up, scraping my helmet on the chute and so forth. So I had a learning curve, but they had these first and second D line in place.
Right.
And from that, so when you come from playing a whole lot in JUCO to kind of being on the bottom of the depth chart and then throwing on a red shirt and then being with the practice squad, your mindset become different, especially when you're not a freshman. So
That's
the
real.
mindset I had then was it was messed up thinking, right? So
right.
From that, the mindset I have now, I would have kind of gave it more effort and did things differently to kind of put myself in a position to potentially get high up on the depth chart. You know what I'm saying? Because
right.
It definitely wasn't a slouch on the field, but my mindset when you get stuck in the depth chart, it's kind of hard to get out of that. You know what I'm saying? So I changed my mindset. I have a different mindset now with a lot of different things based off of my experience at AIC. And then my second year there, I tore up my knee, so I had the meniscus tear and I had the MCL tear too.
Went through a lot of adversity.
So that was it. After that, that was it. You know what I'm saying? I kind of hung them up, but I finished school. You know what I'm saying? Because I wanted the ball, but then I finished school after that. So just like
which was most important anyway.
Yeah, what I took from AIC was like a different mindset. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Now, we was talking the other day about like the importance of life insurance. You know what I mean, and 401k and investment stocks. Can we shine some light on that? Because
absolutely,
I just got into the life insurance game, but my mom, she always had a life insurance for me, and she actually educated me on this. Okay. I did not know over the course of time that you could actually borrow money from your life insurance, or you have like liquid cash available where you could take a deposit out of it. Yep. So that was something new to me. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of people don't trust life insurance because they feel like it's a scam, or if they die, will their family really ever get that money? So somebody like you probably have way more knowledge than me when it comes to this. Can you shine a light on the whole life insurance thing?
Absolutely. It's necessary for the simple fact that people have car insurance, homeowners insurance, and renter's insurance. So you mean to tell me your house, your apartment, or your car is more valuable than your life?
That's deep right there.
It's probably not, right? So there's two types. The type you're talking about, I don't offer, but listen, it's good to have something. For the simple fact that you're not out here begging, you're not passing the hat around the church, or you're using a GoFundMe. Right? Because those kind of show some type of irresponsibility. And it's very important to have it, because that's the quickest way to generational wealth without selling drugs or being in the street.
And that's real, because you could leave your family 6 figures plus, break it down equally. They already got a down payment for a house or business. So it's crazy.
You could pay off student loan debt with that amount saved in that life insurance. You can help one of your favorite little cousins go to college. You could get your first crib. You could renovate your crib. But
and that's real. And with the death rate, not even the death rate, I should say, because I don't know the facts on this, so don't quote me on this, right? But the fact that in the minority community, man, we have so much crime amongst ourselves where we lose our young brothers and our young sisters, you would think that we would have things like this.
Yeah. I mean, listen, it's not taught, because we take finance classes with finance majors, we're business majors, but we're not talking about that important stuff to have just in case.
That's real.
Right? And that's where school kind of drops the ball.
Right.
If you don't have an old head or somebody getting in your ear, dropping knowledge on you about why you should have a Roth IRA or some type of mutual fund, or make sure you're contributing, or you contributing whatever your company's matching with your 401k at work.
Define the Roth IRA for people who don't understand who watching this.
So anybody who's working and has earned income, you got to get one of those. And especially if you're younger, I recommend that you get something that's a little bit aggressive, that has time to grow, because we're not retiring anytime soon. So what it is, that get taxed as money's put into it, and then when you withdraw that money, there's no tax on it. So it's all So if you have about 700,000, that's yours. You know what I'm saying? If you have 800, that's all yours, because it's been taxed already.
So the Roth IRA is different from the 401k?
Yes. With the 401k, if you have 800,000 in there, when it's time to withdraw, you're taxed on that 800,000.
Wow.
So 401ks, 403bs, they all pretty much work like that. They have different names, but that's how they work. Traditional IRAs, they all, kind of work like that. But the Roth is something that I usually recommend to my clients, and make sure they have, right? Kind of offer it as a package. So.
Yeah, and it's big too, because during tax season, when you at the end of the year, when you gotta claim your taxes, right? Another thing I learned is that the more money you make, the more money you gotta hide.
Yeah.
The more money you make, the more money you gotta put away into your 401k. The more money you gotta invest over here or over there, because then it brings your tax bracket down where you don't gotta pay all that money back. There's a lot of people who don't know that. I didn't know that until I experienced that. And that's why I was so frustrated at the fact that there's so many life hacks out here where the middle class is actually running America. They live off us because we pay taxes during the year and at the end of the year. When these business owners get refunds at the end of the year when they file their taxes because they write off all these losses. It's crazy to me.
That's the biggest thing. And what all your tax return is the money that you pay, is the money that you overpaid the government on your check.
Right.
So what you can do, you can set it up where you have additional monies coming out of your check, so that way you won't receive a tax return, but then at that point in time you still have extra money in your check on a weekly, bi-weekly, monthly basis, however you get paid. But
right.
most people don't know that. Most people don't know that, and 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 that's why my target market is the middle income America, to kind of help them, educate them, and show them how to do better, so that way they can retire sooner than later. They can get out of debt sooner than later, right? So that they can put more money away towards retirement, instead of you know having to work part-time after retiring from their full-time job. That's
Right.
that's the mission I'm on, to kind of put together a game plan for families and make sure that they're good with that.
Right. Now, do you work for a company directly or are you just an agent?
I'm an agent, and I'm affiliate with a company.
Okay. What company is that?
I work with Primerica Financial Services.
Okay. Beautiful. Beautiful. You
So
see,
I have the ability to kind of hire my agents and kind of select who I work with, and then also develop them and show them how to impact families as well on a part-time basis.
so the financial advisor industry is a big industry as well.
Absolutely, there's going to be a huge turnover in the next few years, because a lot of the financial advisors are retiring soon, because they're
Right.
a bit older. So there's going to be a large demand and request for advisors.
Because I did some research, well, when I first got laid off, I was looking for a new outlet, a new career path. And I did some research, and they were stating that the financial advisor is going to be real big in the upcoming years due to COVID-19 impact. A lot of people having family members passing away, not having life insurance, not having investments, 401ks, Roth IRAs, things like that. So my thing is, when somebody wants to get a financial advisor, what are the key attributes that they're looking for from that person where they could trust that person? Because you trust this person with your life, your money. I had an experience just now recently, literally like last week, where my life insurance agent signed me up for 2 life insurances. And I'm paying 2 life insurances. I'm like, yo, homie, am I dying next week? What the fuck is going on?
The biggest thing is you're looking for honesty. You're looking for the qualities, the same qualities you're looking for in a friend. That's what you're kind of looking for in an advisor.
Right.
You're looking for somebody who's gonna do the right thing, inform you, educate you,
Right.
and be there. Have a conversation with, like, once a quarter. Like, I try to keep in contact with my clients once a quarter.
Wow.
Once a quarter, definitely reaching out to them on their birthdays and all of that. So that way there's some rapport. They know I'm doing the right thing for them. I show them, here's what you have, here's what I'm offering, here's where you're gonna be if you don't, move forward with me.
Correct.
Or you have everything in place. So you just gotta look for honesty, and a trustworthy character trait that they have.
Yeah, that's dope. So for anybody who's interested in getting a plan, can you give us an example of a life insurance plan, a decent one that will help somebody take care of their death bills, take care of their offspring, take care of their family, whatever it is, and still have something left over so that their family could build something with it?
I highly recommend a term policy, for the simple fact that term is not as expensive and it provides more coverage.
A term policy?
Yes. So
what is that specifically?
So a term policy is similar to your car insurance, your home
Okay.
insurance, or renter's insurance. It's just insurance for a period of time. God forbid something happens, it pays out. You cannot borrow money from it, right? So what I also do is set up short-term accounts for emergency funds for clients. And we also, my team and we also set up short-term accounts for clients, and we also set up long-term accounts like the Roth IRAs and so forth. So we put together multiple things for them They make sure there's cash available if an emergency comes up, and then make sure there's cash available long term when it's time for retirement, and that term ends. But I have a special rider in my policies where I can, make sure there's term until they're at least 90 years old, 95 years old. So
Wow.
so those that's what I recommend. That's what we only offer, only term, because
Yes.
something that you have and something that most people have, it usually provides coverage, but it's not enough coverage and it's a little more expensive. So what we do, we take what they're paying and we set up a policy, and we also set up some investments for our clients.
Right.
Hope that makes sense. It's kind of hard because I don't have visuals, but
No, I get exactly what you're saying. Definitely, you broke it down perfectly. You know what I mean? And when I think about life insurance, 401ks, things like that, it's very similar to the stock market, right? Like, are you informed on mutual funds?
Yes,
You know
absolutely.
about mutual funds?
Absolutely. So that's what
So
pretty much Roth IRAs are, mutual funds. Like I have, a Roth and a mutual fund for myself. So the Roth is for long term, and I have a mutual fund for, just for saving right now. So
correct.
hopefully, those my funds are kind of in the market, and they kind of fluctuate over time with the market as the market goes. But I'm not looking to do anything with, especially the mutual fund, anytime soon. So just letting it
Correct.
sit and build, because
See,
some
because one
people.
of my employees was a lawyer, and we was talking about the stock market one day, and he told me that I should invest in a mutual fund. And I'm like, why not invest in Apple stocks? Why not invest in, stocks directly? Why a mutual fund? He stated that the mutual fund is safer than anything else. Is that true?
That's a good guy. That's a good guy. And the best, that's somebody you keep in your corner, Panama, for real. Because the mutual fund is like, just imagine that this is the best picture I can paint, and I hope it's kind of relevant, right? Just imagine getting on the elevator with one cable. How
One
comfortable?
cable.
One cable. So that one cable's pulling you up and down, and multiple people. And if it's a jam-packed elevator, you got a lot of weight on there, right?
Right.
How comfortable do you feel with that one cable?
Not comfortable at all.
With a mutual fund is elevators pulling the elevator with multiple cables.
Right.
So if Apple bottoms out, right, or what GameStop was going crazy a few months ago, right? So
Yeah,
GameStop,
AMC and all that.
yeah, if GameStop bellies out, your mutual fund probably have other stocks similar to GameStop that is not as popular, that are not bellying out like GameStop.
Right.
But you know what I'm saying? So you still secure because you got multiple cables.
Right.
If you're in an elevator with one cable and it's just GameStop.
Correct.
It's game.
I'm understanding that now, man. I just tapped into the stock game. Like I said, I got a little money saved up now, so I'm trying to do some things. You know what I mean? I'm trying to invest
and like, shout out to your lawyer, whomever he is, because that's the right thing to say. And most people going crazy over these stocks, man. And it's like, listen, get a mutual fund, Like, oh, I heard about a mutual fund before, but listen, it's the safest bet. Because so back in almost a year ago, right? Everything went haywire with the market, right?
Yeah.
When everything dropped, bro, that's the time to buy, because that's a discount. That's when everything is on sale.
Correct.
So when the market's up and everything is like 500, whatever stock you're looking at is, that's not on sale. But when it drops, that's the time you put more money in, because that's the time. And that's when people, those who are not educated about finances, that's when they pull like money, and that's the worst time, because the bounce back is coming, bro. It's coming, because life is a cycle of things that go up and down, right? And so is the market.
Speaking of that, let's talk about Bitcoin real quick.
Okay. Listen, I'm not too familiar with that, but I hear about it. Maybe you can educate me. Go ahead.
So I'm gonna keep it real with you, right, Akeem? When we found out about Bitcoin, it was for a whole different reason. It was the black market. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But long story short, the black market, when Bitcoin first came out, it was at 0.008 cents or something like that, right?
Not even a penny.
Not even a penny. And the hood knew all about Bitcoin, but we knew about it for different outlets, I should say, or for different reasons.
Yeah.
We did not have the proper knowledge that people have now, or we did not forecast and see where it was going to go. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, I feel like the ignorance to certain facts is what keeps us behind. And the more we educate ourselves on these financial literacies, the better off we are. And trial and error is key. Trial and error is key. The reason why I say that is because right now I invested a couple dollars into Bitcoin, Ethereum coin, Dogecoin, and I'm not gonna lie, yo, I seen a dip. I said, now I'm taking my bread out. Yo, I took all my bread out.
Yeah.
2 days later, the joint doubled. I
up.
was sick.
Went up.
I was sick, but like I said, it's trial and error. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing about the stock market. Yeah, teachers in high school told us, yeah, invest in Apple stocks, blah, 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 but we don't know what the hell they talking about.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like you said, the school system shortens us when it comes to financial literacy because they don't give us the proper tools to be rich. They just keep us just over broke. They keep us in that systematic factor.
That's a fact. Let me ask you this. When was the last time you used trigonometry?
Say it again?
When was the last time you used trigonometry?
I can't even tell you. I ain't building nothing over here, so I ain't measuring no dimensions or none of that. I'm not.
What about algebra?
Nothing.
Algebra, like all that stuff, we're not really using. You like some careers may use it, but like the normal Joe Smo, like they're really not using it, and it's not. And we'll drill that for years. You know what I'm saying? We can have.
I agree.
For a few years, and we can have different things for a few years, but you know. Are you being an architecture? No, you're not an architecture.
Right.
I'm not an architecture. You know, things change, but like what about debt? Like let's talk about this debt real quick, bro. Let's talk about
facts. Let's talk about it.
So what we specialize in is putting together game plans. So I'm not going to support with a client unless they have a game plan. So in that game plan, one of the things we focus on is getting you out of debt sooner than later. Because debt can be the ultimate crippler.
Right.
For the simple fact that we went to AIC. AIC was a private institution, which was expensive.
Yep.
You walk out of college, you're looking at 60, 150, thousands of dollars in debt. So what we do, we focus. Then that could stop you from even buying your first house.
Correct.
Because then it's not guaranteed that you get a job when you get out of college, right? So
let's talk about it. How can somebody get rid of that college debt?
You could get as simple as this, right? So what you have to do is put together a game plan and get out of debt sooner than later. And you focus on what I focus on with my clientele is focusing on the smallest debts first. Focus on the smallest debts to the largest debt, and then that way we pay them off over time. So that way, when we get down to it, the last thing we're paying off is your biggest debt, which is usually your mortgage. If you're fortunate to have one. So that way, over time, you're kind of doubling the mortgage payment instead of just being 150 at that point in time. Hopefully, you're throwing all of the previous debts that you cleared up towards it. So that way, you're clearing up your debt. And then when you clear up all your debt, guess what you can do? You can invest in Bitcoin. You can put more money in your Roth IRA. You can put more money you can put more money everywhere and buy everything cash because you're from Brooklyn, so cash is king, right?
Yes.
Then while you're paying off your debts, your credit score is going up. You know what I'm saying? Yep. And the name of the game is be disciplined. You got to be disciplined, bro. And you got to pay whatever you swipe, you got to pay it off immediately.
Facts.
You got to pay it off immediately because if it's something that you don't need or you really can't afford with cash, you got to leave it.
The credit game be messing me up, though, because I paid off one of my credit cards, like straight. Just, it was like, for example, it was like $1,500. I just paid it off one time. Boom. It dropped my credit score. When I had two other credit cards that was still like, 40% over the balance. So in my head, I'm like, did my credit score drop because I ain't equally dispersed that $1,500 across all three credit cards to make sure that it was below a 20, 30 percentile? Or
here's the deal. You got to keep it less than 33% on each card.
Right.
Anything more than 33% hurts you.
Right.
Can't really, it might have been a few other factors going into that point in time when you paid off that balance. But, you can't have too many inquiries. You can't have over 33%. You got to really keep it down. You got to keep it balanced. Credit is important, but it can also, hurt you and harm you. I'm kind of torn, right? Because big believer in Dave Ramsey Dave Ramsey and us have the same philosophies. Like, pay off your credit, keep your credit low, keep your expenses low.
Right.
Keep your expenses low. That's another major key. So that way you're not, don't have an $800 car payment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's easier said than done, right?
It is.
Because when I call it rich thoughts, poor habits.
Yeah.
Because when you come from poverty, all we want is the lavish lifestyle.
For the most part, absolutely.
For the most part, right?
Yeah.
And, I posted something the other day, like, yo, I worked my ass off just to cop my first pair of foreigns and wear them shits only once.
Yeah.
Just thinking about the dumb shit I did in my 20s.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? Because when we get the bag, the first thing we do is go cop something nice for ourselves to feel like it's a real accomplishment.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I don't think people really understand that the rich communicate in a certain code. The rich communicate in a certain lifestyle. So there's a reason why there's a Gucci, a Louis, the AP, the Audemars, the Rolls Royces, the Rolex watches. There's a reason, because those are statement pieces as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like you got to be able to manage that game before you act like you win the game.
You definitely have to manage it. Because it's like, I see you jump up in the morning and get busy at 5 a.m.
Facts.
Why is that?
I'm hungry. I gotta get my mind right. I gotta get my body right. So when I go outside, my mentals is on point, and I'm attacking everything with a distinctive mindset. You get what I'm saying? I'm getting all that aggression. I'm getting all that waste out of me, so that when I'm thinking, I'm making conscious decisions, and I know what I'm aiming towards. It's mind, body, soul, and spirit. I gotta make sure all that is in tune so I can execute my goals, man. And that's just been installed in me since football. I won championships way before AIC. I won championships at my Pop Warner team. And all I ever known was to get up, get after it, and results will come.
And that's a discipline, period.
Yes,
that's
sir.
what I'm looking for. It's just a discipline. You get up and get after it, and get your workout in first thing in the morning. You gotta treat people have to treat their finances or whatever they want out of life. They gotta treat that shit the same way.
Just like that. That's real.
That's real. They gotta treat it the same way. Whatever you want, because there's something that you're disciplined for. It's just that you're slacking on the discipline when it comes to whatever you really want, but not really to be willing to be disciplined for it. And that's the name of the game. So if not just pointing out you, but if you're disciplined and getting up in the morning and working out, you could be disciplined with your finances. It's all a mindset.
That's real.
It's that same mindset I was talking about when I was at AI. You know what I'm saying? That I didn't have at the time when I was 21, 22 years old.
Facts.
So that is just a discipline, bro, because it can be done. You see people lose plenty of pounds, right?
Right.
Discipline.
Facts.
Discipline. So
Facts.
Yeah, we want the nice things, but we got to understand that you can get nice things every once in a while, but you can't go crazy all the time.
Facts.
And
like you said, discipline, because over the course of time, it will come. It will come. The lifestyle that I'm living now, I thought I would have been living at 21. And the lifestyle that I thought I would be living now, probably going to live at 40. You see, it's all about timing. It's all about timing. You can't rush that time, but if you do it the right way, you're going to get exactly what you want. And, and that's why I'm trying to make those right financial decisions. I'm trying to educate my mom, my sisters, and everybody. You see, my little sister about to graduate in college in May. And I ensured that she had a proper savings from her last 4 years of college. See, me, when I was in college, I wasn't stacking no bread.
Yeah.
I wasn't saving my refunds. I wasn't doing any of that.
Yeah.
My sister, I made sure she saved every single one of her refunds. She working, she's stacking. So when she graduate, she could have her own down payment for her business. She could have her own down payment for her first car. You see, it's the financial literacy and those disciplinary actions that we need to teach our people, because we're not getting it in school. And they're not going to teach us that because they want us to be a part of the system. They want us to be the slave. They want to just keep us just over broke. And I'm learning that now, because even in the working field, even in corporate America, I feel like there's always a glass ceiling for us. Yeah. There's only but so far we could go, and there's only but so much money they're going to pay us.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
So that's why I'm tapping into the merchandise. I'm tapping into the personal training. I got to keep this podcast going so I can start monetizing my platform, because There's money being made out there.
Yo,
but like you said, discipline.
Nobody's gonna pay you like you. Nobody.
Fact.
Nobody's
Fact.
nobody at the job is really gonna. Nobody at the job. Stop. Nobody at the job is going to like really put you onto a Roth IRA or different things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why you got to get with somebody that you trust, you like and trust, and that is going to point you in the right direction. Because if people continue to do what they're doing at their job, they're just going to get the same results. People, and think about retirement, right? And this is what a conversation I have with my clients.
That's scary.
People retire from their full time to work part time.
That's real. That's real.
You see it all the time, right? Like,
facts.
So, I'm about to retire. I'm like, all right, well, but now I'm gonna go pick up 20 hours though. No, how about you? You know, my grandma was a perfect example of that. God rest her soul too. She was able to retire and sit in the kitchen in the morning and do nothing, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because she was disciplined with her stuff and she put bread away, and probably could have had more bread away if she, had the right people in her ears, but she just sat still, man. And she didn't and she had things in places that she was able to retire as a school teacher and never look back. And that's the mission I'm on, bro. Like that's the mission I'm on, to kind of just educate you, whether you decide to roll with me as a client or not. I know I did my best and I shared all the information I had with you to kind of put you in a better financial place,
See, that's the thing, man. Education is power, man. Knowledge is power. And I feel like the more you can give somebody, the more comfortable they'll be. And, before we end this message, man, just let the people know, leave them with an important message, what they need to know about finances and life insurance and all that.
Listen, when it comes to your finances, make sure you keep your expenses low. Make sure you're taking any contribution you can from your job with a 401k. So take your contributions up to whatever they're matching. You take that, and then go open up a Roth IRA. And definitely, I highly recommend, a term policy in a Roth IRA, so that way you can make sure your family's covered with at least 500,000 to $1 million in coverage, especially here in the Northeast, in New York, Massachusetts, because that's the average what a family needs to kind of stay afloat for 8 to 10 years if one of the breadwinners passes away. And that's just
generational wealth right there. You telling me 500K, pass that down to your family, you pass away, and you wasn't even making that when you was alive.
Exactly.
But you could get that to them when you pass. That's crazy.
You're a living legend now, right? You're a living legend for your family. So, that's the key. Just, got to keep the expenses low, cut some things out, and be disciplined, man. If you be disciplined with one thing, you could definitely be disciplined with another. And, that's just the major key to life, man. There's nothing complicated. It's just as simple as it gets.
Facts.